Hi, my name is Dylan Fink. This is my second and final project for the SCADA lab year of 2023. As you can see, my project is this Mechatronics trainer. For my project plan, what I had to do was just do all the programming for it since it was already all wired and pre-built. I sent all my I/O data from the Micro 820s and sent it all over to Micrologics and did all the programming over on that. Um, some small improvements that I did on it was I used some Ethernet cables, ran those to the back of the board, and put a switch in the back. I also velcroed the power supplies to like underneath of the platform. That way, it kind of made it look a little nicer. Potential risk that I had with this project would be the moving plate. There was a couple times when the puck got stuck in there, and you could tell how much force that plate had on that puck, and you could definitely tell if you got your finger stuck in there, it wouldn't end very well. So I always had to be cautious of that. Some things that went well would have to be my programming. The things that were the best was when I would do all my programming at night for a couple hours, and then when I came into the lab in the morning, I would I would make sure everything worked, and if it didn't, I'd uh, fix all of that, get everything fine tuned, and then I would just repeat it until all three of my stations were done. Some things that need improvement is my inventory management on my HMI, as you'll see later on in the video. I really wanted to get kind of like a little database of inventory so that every time, so I'd have like a system where I could say that shipment was sent out, and then it'd record the date, where it was sent, and some notes and such. But I just didn't have enough time and couldn't get it figured out. So I got to move on and make sure I have time to get everything else done before the end of the year. But now that you know a little bit about my project, I'll go ahead and start showing you how everything runs. Alright, so I'm just going to go over a basic guide here right at the beginning and show how everything is ran, what the buttons do, and what it looks like while it's running. So we got the start button, stop button, and this selector switch. These two buttons don't do anything unless you're in simulation mode. So you always want to have this flipped up, station I/O power. If it's flipped down, it cuts all power to sensors and the outputs. So have that pushed up at all times so you can run it. Otherwise, if you want to use these, I don't have it set up for anything, but otherwise you put it into simulation. So starts up the machine, gets it going. Stop obviously stops the machine. And then, so I'm right here. See how it's already went through a step? Say I remove that piece, and I don't want it to keep going through its cycle. So I can hold stop for 3 seconds, and you'll see the lights come on. That means it's reset. And then once you go to start it back up, it's going to rotate all the way around back to its starting position. And let's see if I can get it stopped here in time. So say I stop it right there. Same thing applies. If I hold it down, it resets it. And when you go to start it back up, everything will reset back to where it should be. Okay, so as you can see, we're in auto mode right now, so everything's running automatically as soon as you click start. Throw some discs in here. So there's a manual mode, which is basically you have to start every station at the beginning of its sequence. So the way you change it is all of these stations are the same. So like This green button is does the same thing as this one over here, and same thing with the stop buttons. Except for in manual mode, when you switch it to manual mode, these all control their own station. So this will start station 1, which is this part right here. This will start to station 2, which is everything to do with the disc, the plate, and this will start everything on here, the conveyor and the sorting system. So you can press any one of these red buttons to do it. You press it 3 times. Once the machine is stopped, you press it 3 times. So 1, 2, 3. The yellow light flashes. That means it switched from auto to manual or vice versa. So at the start, any one of these green buttons will start the whole machine up. And then we'll start with station 1. Takes it up, drops it off over there. And as you see, nothing happens. I then have to come over here and hit start for station 2. It'll run through that. Drop it on over here. So it's just sitting there. Start that one up. And then I also have safety so that they can only be started in certain times. So let's go ahead and start this one so I can show you. Start station 1 up again. That one just gets ready while this one's going. We'll drop it on there. And then if I go to click start, nothing will happen, because if you look down here, there's a disc right there, so you won't be able to start station 2 until you clear station 3. And that way, so if it were to start and go, then it would just drop on top of this disc and then it would jam up this plate, so you don't want that to happen. So you go ahead and click start on that one, and then this one can immediately start going again. Alright, so I'm going to go over some safety protocols now. This first one I got is that there's no sensor in here to tell whether or not there's a disc or not. So it basically just tries it a few times, and once it determines there's not one in there, it'll stop the machine. So it goes once, starts a timer, and then begins again, and it'll begin one more time. And as soon as that third one fails, it starts the alarm. So another one that we got is whether or not it gets jammed up here. So if, say there's a black one coming and it falls in, or it doesn't fall in, say it gets like stuck right here, then the machine will just immediately stop, because you don't want it to like fall into a different bin or anything. So I'll put my finger in the way right here. So it doesn't detect that it fell off or that it went in there, so it starts the alarm. Another one that I have is just a watchdog for this thing right here. So if it's extending and it doesn't fully extend or fully retract within a certain amount of time, then it means that it's jammed, so it'll just stop the machine. So we'll go here, we'll hold it, and it starts that. So then the same thing goes for the opposite direction. So I hold it here, stops the machine, clear the alarm. And that's all I got for safety protocols. Alright, so I'm going to be going over my HMI here real quick. We got the machine control, start, stop, reset machine. It does all the same stuff as the buttons do, so this will start up your machine, stop your machine, reset the machine. That'll set everything back to step 1. So if something gets jammed, you got to clear it, or something happens, you can always reset the machine back to its starting position. Got your disc counters here. It'll count them up every time they run through. You can reset everything back to 0 with this button. And then here's our manual and auto station control. So right now it's in manual mode. If it's in auto, it'll automatically start going. throw some discs in here so I can see some stuff. So now that it's in manual, this green border means that it's able to start. So we can click that. It's running, and now you'll see that station 2 is starting to highlight, meaning that we can start that one too. And it'll run through everything and go back to the starting position. So station 3 is ready now, and we can start it right back up from the beginning. And I also have safeties in here, so you can't just start things. So right here, station 3 is ready to start. So there is a disc right in here, and there's a disc up there. If I were to click start station 2, it would drop right on top of this other one, and then get jammed in there. So I got safety in there so that you can't start that. Start station 1. If I were to do that right now, I'll throw another puck in there. Start it again, and it'll just sit there, wait for the puck to clear. But we'll go ahead and stop it for now. And that's about everything for this. We got our alarms right here. We'll actually throw an alarm in there for you. Switch it to auto mode, and then click start. If I just hold that, it'll detect that it didn't drop into the bin. And this is the first time it hasn't popped up right here, but other than that, you reset the alarms right here. Pops up right over top of the start button. So you reset that, and it can be started up right again. So now we come over to our alarms. Same thing as what was on the main page, just bigger. Inventory. So this will keep track of everything in a trend. So if we zoom out, it's so difficult here when I zoomed out so far. So here is the historical data of all the discounting. And I wanted to make a better inventory management system, but it didn't really work out too well. As you can see, I still got the numbers over here too, but this is where I wanted to have like an inventory management system where, so you'd select the puck that you want to ship out, type in how many you might have shipped out, so say 30, and then you'd click this right here, and it'd record when that it was shipped out, and then possibly have like a notes category right here, but I couldn't get it figured out, and we're coming up on the end of the semester, so I had to call her quits and move on so I can get everything wrapped up before the end of the year.